So, this past week, I saw three different video game adaptation announcements, and one of them sent me down quite the rabbit hole. We got The Legend of Zelda live action casting news, which actually looks pretty promising, by the way. And then Netflix reminded us that they still have that Assassin's Creed show in the works.
Oh yeah, dude. I'll be honest with you. Don't really look forward to it by any means. I mean, I don't really care about it, so cool. I mean, they did do that movie a long time ago, which was pretty ass.
Yikes, and apparently a Mortal Kombat 2 trailer dropped. Now, I had seen
Yes.
tons of posts about the Zelda.
I'll be honest with you. What you guys think about that trailer? Because I'll be honest, I liked a lot of parts of it. I think one of the few things I remember seeing was that the only thing I didn't like was Jade. And I think so many have the same thing too about Jade, the way how she looks. It's like, bro, why is she being looking like that character from that one space game? What is it? That one what is it? I think it's the one from Naughty Dog is making, whatever it's called. Space Force, Space X, or it's like a generic ass name. Was it Starseas? Whatever it is. But yeah, man, why should be looking like that? It's like, bro, like from all the versions of Jade that you could have used, you did this. Like you could have even done like Mortal Kombat 9 Jade or something like that, where all the characters actually look really good. But I don't know.
The casting, but I genuinely had no idea if there was even a Mortal Kombat trailer until I was scrolling on social media one night before bed and happened across a video with over 900,000 views
That's exactly what I
asking
thought.
one very specific question. Why is Jade bald? I thought, huh? And pulled up the trailer. Basically, that single question sparked the idea for this whole video because it made me think, shoot, here we go again. At this point, I don't know how many times they've done this to us, but I
A
would
lot.
really, really love for it to stop. So,
It's never gonna stop. Hollywood would just keep butchering and what is it? Butchering and bashing whatever they can, whatever they get their grubby hands on. I mean, literally the one thing they could have done was, and I'm talking about this is back when they're doing a Halo movie or the Halo show. All they had to do is the number one rule: never reveal Master Chief's face. And guess what they do immediately? Reveal Master Chief's. It's like, and then you find out later, oh yeah, it turns out the person didn't look at any media of Halo or Master Chief or who the hell or who John, or what is it, 115 John Connor. That's not his name, by the way. That's not his actual name, but still, I always thought that was so upsetting. I was like, dude, what is even the point of this? And then of course there was Last of Us. A lot of people are like, bro, look at the great things they did with The Last of Us. And I saw literally the night and day difference of the people that they changed and all that stuff. I'm like, bro. And you know what's crazy is that I feel like Last of Us, it's like a hot take. I feel like Last of Us TV show is nothing compared to the actual game itself. The actual game has more expression, has more feel, has more feeling, and a much more better delivery than the actual show itself. They got a bunch of A-list actors, even they are complete dog shit in the show than having what's his name? I think it's Troy Baker. I think is what it is, and I don't remember the girl that plays as Ellie, but they got them and they came out a banger with that one. And that game came out more than like 14 years ago, or like 13 years ago, I think. But still, it's crazy to think how old that game is now, and it's still banging to this day. It's an amazing game. For anyone out there, I recommend playing the game instead of watching the actual movie or watching the show. Instead, you'll do yourself so much significantly a better favor.
Bald Jade. To be totally honest with you, I'm not a massive Mortal Kombat fan. And like I said, the only reason I even knew this trailer dropped was because my entire timeline just exploded.
Oh
Everyone was
yeah, MK9. Oh my god, bro.
talking about Jade being
I'll be honest with you. It's kind of funny the way the MK9 characters look because they're very like plastic surgery chest, but yeah.
Bald. But even I, someone who isn't all that familiar with the franchise, still know that Jade is
Is
a
that the same
super
actor?
iconic female character. I've seen her all throughout the franchise over the
Oh no, they used the character from the Chala one, right? Uh right? Is it the Chala girl or something like that from Black Panther? I don't know which one it is. But yeah, one of them.
years, and this whole bald thing was really
Is Jade
confusing
even
me. So
black?
I did what any reasonable person would do. I went digging through 30 years of Mortal Kombat history. And you know what I found? At no point during any adaptation, any game, anything was Jade ever without hair. Not
Yep.
once. In 3 decades. Here's the kicker. This got so much attention that one of the movie's producers actually responded to a tweet about the whole thing. And his answer was essentially, "You'll have to wait and see what the reason is." I'm sorry, what? You developed lore about making her bald? I don't know. Is this some sort of reverse engineering of the tough girl pipeline where characters now grow their hair out and
I'll be honest with you. You know what? If you really want me to wait till the movie comes out for me to find out what it is, I'll just wait for reviews about it instead of actually seeing why. Because you may think it's a big head move, and I've seen what you guys believe is a 5 head move. It turns out to be the most brainlet, like the most the most smooth brain. What is it that the kids that you see at the back of at the back of the class, the ones in those specialized wheelchairs, like those type of takes. It's like, brother, sometimes when you think you're cooking, it turns out you're burning the whole kitchen down. All right.
instead of cutting it off, because that would be refreshing. And I'm sure this is completely unrelated, but let me just show you a few other recent projects this actress has been in, including that upcoming Naughty Dog game.
Also, it is her. I wasn't tripping. To me, I'm thinking, hey man, what is it? To me, I'm thinking, am I reaching a point where like I'm thinking that some of these actresses look the same, these bald ones? But no, I'm I'm not. Holy shit! I would be like, oh my god, dude. I'm like, holy shit. Oh my god.
Where
Oh my gosh, she's bald! She's bald and she's torturing people who have hair!
but I'm sure
Oh
that's
Jesus.
just a total coincidence, right?
Was that
With
is that
this
is it that
brand new
Jinx
introduction of
show?
Jade's mysterious hair lure. You know what's even more wild about this whole thing? The media's reaction. I was reading some of their responses to fans questioning Jade's newfound baldness, and I happened to also come across this article
The
about the
gamer.
Legend of Zelda live action casting. And honestly, the comparison between the two is just
They're not the
chef's kiss.
same.
This same publication, while shaming fans for not accepting the modernized Jade,
Oh, okay. How dare you for not accepting this dyke version of Jade, but also how dare you not accept this transvestite Zelda? It's like, dude, oh my god, like I'm sorry for wanting what is it for wanting these grubby medias Hollywood to follow the actual lore things that are established in in the whatever franchise. Like, I'm sorry that they just refuse to do it because they think, oh, the people that have been writing these stories for over 30 years, ugh, what the fuck did they know? I have a degree on what is it? I have a degree on what is it on book history, even though without writing a single fucking novel, or even what is it? Or even have a publicized one, or even have one without rewards. But hey, what the hell does everyone else know? Apparently, you're the genius of this entire operation.
Jade, a character that's been established for decades, was also simultaneously complaining about a missed opportunity on Nintendo's part, saying that they should have cast a certain actor for the role of Princess Zelda
Fuck
because
you.
it was a perfect match.
Oh,
It's
God, I gotta get up.
almost sad at this point, the blatant double standard that they just can't seem to see. When it fits
Hell
the
no.
narrative, visual accuracy is super important. When it doesn't, suddenly fans are the problem for calling it out. This, of course,
I mean, I'm not saying it's the gamer specifically or any of those other ones, but this is the same group of people who defended the actual history changes of the movie The Woman King. I'm gonna tell you guys something about The Woman King. And real history, that was it, the tribe, which is called the homie tribe, which is kind of funny to me, the homie. um that tribe were pioneers of slave trades. Oh yeah, you want to know the reason why there are so many black slaves? It's because of them. While the movie itself, they were like, no, the woman king, the king that is now a woman. What tech what it that part is factual. There was an actual woman king. They made it where in the movie she was against slavery, but of course, actuality, she was the pioneer of them. I mean, I'm just saying, if you guys want to see, like, there's a little bit of history about it. I was just looking it up and being like, wow, this movie got everything wrong. And guess what? A lot of these freaks, what is it from these journalist groups, uh, and yes, I'm saying journalists and including like urinals and journalists. I don't know. It's a weird combination of words I'm hearing a while back, but still, they accepted it. They were like, yes, this is the true history of whatever. And I'm like, no, because I watched people dissect what was going on of the film and the inaccuracies of it, and that shit was crazy, man. It was crazy, man. I was just looking it up. It's fascinating.
This all ties into things that have been happening across Western media for years now, and these live action adaptations just make it so painfully obvious. At the heart of all of this, it really seems like so many of the people making these adaptations don't actually have respect for the source material, or for us, the audience. At this point, it even feels like active contempt. On just the storytelling end of this, it's almost this attitude of, we know better. They look at these beloved characters and worlds that have made billions of dollars and created passionate fan bases and somehow think, yeah, but we can improve this.
Yeah.
We can modernize it. For a while now, that modernizing always seems to mean the same thing. Cramming in some lecture or unwanted ideologies that don't serve the story or characters. They don't do it because it makes narrative sense. They do it because someone decided the original wasn't progressive enough for their mythical modern audience. Here's the thing.
Because their vision of it doesn't match what the vision of of this franchise was, because they think their version is better, even though this franchise slash version has been going on for multiple decades. Oh, okay. So apparently you're the one. Apparently you have better ideas compared to the original, huh? What is it? How many games did you make exactly? With your with your modernized change, or with your with your moderation one, or and such? Uh, Tell me. I would like to know. Really.
We've already connected with these characters and worlds. We already love them just the way they are. We've spent hundreds, sometimes thousands of hours with them. When you improve them by making unnecessary changes or stripping away what made them special in the first place, you're essentially telling us that our love was misplaced, that we were wrong to care about them as they were, and that your new versions are better, that they are actually what we should care about instead. Nowhere is this more obvious than with HBO's The Last of Us. Okay,
Yeah.
I know some of you out there enjoyed The Last of Us.
Fucking
and
hate
if
it.
you did, I respectfully question your taste and ask you to please cover your ears for this next part. I just couldn't get there. And
Yes. 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 That This is my girl right here. She gets it. She gets it. I hated the Last of Us TV show. I didn't even watch that shit. I knew it's gonna be bastardized and butchered, and guess what? I knew immediately. I was so vindicated so much. You can't say shit to me in the comments or anything like that. I knew this shit was gonna be bastardized so much, and it fucking was.
it wasn't just one thing, it was everything. The whole show. Before it even released, I could not get behind the casting at all for pretty much any character. The only person who felt
What the fuck? Who's that? Who's that?
right to me was Marlene. And how could she not? It's
Bro, it's
the same actress that played her in the game, so of course she felt authentic. But the checkbox casting was honestly just the beginning of my issues. Then
do you know what's crazy? One of the things that actually agitated me, which is like, you're telling me that the first character that you only see for 5 minutes, they couldn't even portray her correctly, which was Joe's daughter. But even my cousin was surprised of the amount of differences. I'm like, yes, now you know why I hated the show so much, for changing all these things so much where they didn't even need to. They could have kept Joe's daughter the same, but no, they were like, she's black. It's like, what the fuck, man?
There were the story changes that made everything worse. How the infection spreads, Tess's death, weird time jumps, and of course, the foundational changes made to Joel and Ellie, starting with what they did to Joel's character. Right off the bat,
Jesus
it
Christ, dude.
completely softened him. Game Joel was morally ambiguous, closed off, pragmatic.
Dude, Joe's a dickhead early in the game, especially to Ellie. He was so cold to her. It wasn't until like after, I think it was like Act 2. I think that's when he started really. That's when like he kind of softens up a bit. I think it was until like Act 2, or maybe at the end of Act 2. That's when things started changing between Joe and Ellie. Um, but yeah, I hated this. I didn't even watch this show, and I knew they would bastardize everything of it, and I was right.
Violent. That's what made him so compelling. He wasn't depicted as a hero, but as a multi-layered, complicated man that the player got to know over time. But the show took all of that away and turned him into this weird, emotional, soft, one-dimensional version that had completely lost all of that hard edge. And the biggest problem with this is that by doing that, by fundamentally
And yet from all the actors they could have gotten, they picked the one actor who wants to tell everyone who's a I'll be honest with you, how do you know what, I'm not even gonna say it.
changing his character throughout the whole show, you destroy his entire character arc. His relationship with Ellie in the game is powerful because
If you want me to do what is a Warframe, I'll probably do Warframe in a bit. All right.
it's a bond that shouldn't have formed. He starts out rude, closed off, and then slowly opens up over the course of a year. When Joel makes a joke with Ellie or shows any vulnerability, it means something because the game had earned those moments. The show, on the other hand, wanted all the emotional payoff without doing any of the work to get there. And then there's Ellie. Again, right off the bat, they turned her into this combative character who's
dude, you cannot take her face serious. Look at that fucking face. Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. They picked all the wrong casting.
Activated by violence. Their word, not mine. The showrunners literally said Ellie gets excited when Joel beats someone to death because it shows their magnets destined to click together. That's just weird and not Ellie at all. Ellie is consumed by survivor's guilt. She's terrified of being alone. She's deeply empathetic. She doesn't like violence. She's disturbed by it. And all of this only adds to her development by the time we get into the meat.
It's the reason why, because of it, is that everyone who meant dear to her died. That's the thing. Everyone that meant dear to her died. That's the reason why she finds death so uncomfortable. Is because the amount of people who she loved or liked or got to know, they all died, and actually happens in the game
Of part 2, because again, you have this really impactful arc of who she was in the first game versus how much she's grown and changed since then. But the show decided to make a total mockery of all of that. To me, the whole thing felt like character assassination. Like someone looked at these beloved, complex characters and said, yeah, but what if we made them more likable? What if we made Joel softer so he's more immediately sympathetic? What if we made Ellie more aggressive so she seems stronger? Like, why? If that's totally different from the actual characters they're supposed to be. Why are we doing that? And I think this really came to the surface in season 2 because it became so clear that this wasn't just about adapting the story. It was this active contempt and disrespect for the original work. And honestly,
I'll be honest with you, I feel like, even though the sequel Last of Us Part 2 was this, even though I feel like that one was a complete bastardization of the first one, right? I completely hated even the second game. Wow, that pause. Even I hated it myself. I feel like they even a part of me believes that they messed it up even more in the TV show. It's like, how do you do that? How do you mess up a sequel that that many people hate? It's just the choice of direction that they did with the story, and and I'm pretty sure they messed that up even in the show itself. How do you, you know what? I'm not even gonna ask how you do that, because this is Hollywood. They fuck up everything.
For the audience too. The Last of Us isn't the only one. Look at the Borderlands movie. They completely missed on the casting, story development, and irreverent.
they got they got Kevin Hart as Roland, one of the toughest. Dude, dude. Oh my god, they got, who the fuck this is. They got a 80-year-old woman to play as Tess, supposed to be like 30 years old. They got a black midget. They got, what is it? They got Craig, which, oh, dude, nothing made sense of this movie.
Tone that
Oh
made
my
those games
God,
special.
dude.
Or the Halo show, where the creators openly admitted they hadn't played the games and
There you
then
go.
stripped Master Chief of everything that made him iconic. Taking his helmet off constantly, making him emotional and rebellious, they turned him into...
They made him emotional, nigga. Oh my god. You know, I mentioned this earlier too, is that this is what I was this is one thing I was talking about, is that they revealed his face multiple times and all this stuff. Even doing it the first time, it's a problem enough already, but no, they were like, we gotta do it more. But making him emotional, nigga, do you have any idea how many games it took just for this dude to feel any sort of emotions? I'm gonna tell you guys, it took 4. It took practically 4 games for this guy to actually feel actually feel emotion. And you want to know why? Because he had to leave behind Cortana and he didn't want to. That's the reason. But no, did they understand that, why that was the case? Why Master Cheeks was this completely emotional war machine? No, they don't know about any of the progress, what it means to be a Master Chief. Not just the character, but to be what is it, a Master Chief Spartan. They didn't understand that part. They didn't read that part in the lore, what they had to do to be that sort of thing. As I said, complete bastardization of these stories, of these well-beloved franchises and stories.
Just some guy. It's this pattern of, we can improve this, that keeps happening, and it's exhausting. But
yeah,
here's what gives me hope. Some studios out there actually do get it. We've all seen firsthand that when creators understand what...
I have no hope for any of them, man. I really don't. I mean, like, what is it? Girl, background NPC. You may have hope for these. I don't, man. I really don't. I mean, a lot of people like the Minecraft movie. And, you know, that's great. You know, technically, the Minecraft movie could kind of go wherever, because, you know, there's not exactly a storyline per se, you know, and such. So that's why it could kind of go like in like any direction and such. But for these ones, no, not for me, man. I can't. I personally can't.
Makes these worlds special when they have genuine love for the source material. You can feel it immediately. Like, I knew literally nothing about League of Legends before Arcane, but I was emotionally destroyed by Vi and Jinx within the first 3 episodes.
Great,
and I knew that
show.
I was watching something very special. It was so obvious that the people...
You have hope over one show. I mean, it's good, you know. I hear a lot of people talk praise about this, but how many were bastardized? You're gonna have hope for one out of the many that were fucked? Not me, man. I'm sorry, not me.
Behind the show wanted nothing more than to celebrate the characters that fans loved so much. And that's exactly what happened. Riot, with the help of Fortiche, put true love, care, and appreciation into what they created. And across the internet, you will basically find nothing but praise and love for their adaptation. That's what a good adaptation looks like, taking what's already there and building on it with love. The animation was gorgeous, the voice acting was incredible, and every character felt so real and genuine. You could tell how much getting this right meant to Riot. They looked at their game characters and said, how can we show people why we love these characters so much? Or look at Cyberpunk Edgerunners. David and Lucy weren't even game characters, but it still felt like Night City. All that corporate dystopia, the body modification obsession, the way technology both elevates and destroys people. Studio Trigger brought their signature animation style, but completely respected what the world actually is. CD Projekt Red was obviously working with them pretty
Yes,
closely,
Edge
and by
Runners.
the end, you genuinely cared about characters you'd never heard of before just because of how much respect and care went into telling the story. And then there's Sonic. When that first design dropped with those horrifying human teeth, they could have doubled down and said, this is our
Honestly, man, what is up with the highlight? But yeah, man, you know what? I forget. I forget how massively successful like the Sonic was. That they made like how many movies now? Like 3 of them. I've only seen the first one, and really didn't care so much about like the sequels and stuff. But yeah, yeah, and yeah, and with Edge Runners, I thought it was all right. Um, but honestly, man, like I just don't care for these anymore. Like I really don't. I've been burned so many times from some of these franchises. I just don't give a shit anymore. When I see like, oh, there's a show, a movie, I'm like, all right, cool, all right, man. But yeah, man, I just don't trust it anymore. Even with Edge Runners and Sonic being successful. But it's just that one tweet from that one, yeah, the producer, where it says he wants to make us sad because Polish is sad, everything is sad. It's like, nah, nigga, that's just you. I think you're projecting super hardcore, man. But I'm just saying, dude, that's just you. I'm just saying, it doesn't always have to be that way, bro. But hey, man, good luck on you, man, because I wouldn't be surprised that they end up finding you. What is it? What is it? Hanging on a ceiling fan, Robin Williams style.
artistic vision. Deal with it. But instead, they actually listened to fans instead of turning on them. They went back to the drawing board, spent more money, delayed the movie, and gave us a Sonic that actually looked like Sonic. They humbled themselves, admitted they were wrong, and gave
Yeah,
us an authentic version of the character we all know and love. That's what respecting your audience
I'll be honest with you. That was the one part where I thought it was awesome, was that they actually went back, delayed the movie, and actually redid all the things with Sonic. Supposedly that was the plan that they initially did, and then they had like, oh, here's this version of Sonic. I don't really know if that's really true or not. I don't know, but that's what I remember hearing as such. But of course, um conspiracy theories being conspiracy theories as always, without having no evidence. But that's just remember what I'm hearing, and I'm like, I don't know if it's true or not, but at the end of the day, I'm glad that we got this version of Sonic than what was originally advertised, because wow.
looks like. That's what happens when you care more about getting it right than protecting your ego. And you might notice that all my examples here are essentially coming from animated adaptations. Yes, Sonic is live action, but we're just talking about his animated design. But that's because
Yeah,
I'm still waiting for a live action adaptation that really nailed it. I feel like we still haven't gotten that, but please let me know if I'm forgetting one. I know people have praised Fallout. For me, there were still quite a few misses in that show, and it was unfortunately enough to overshadow anything they might have done right. And then I know the Witcher
honestly, I completely hated how they butchered the what is it, the pyro armor. I completely hated the way how they butchered the power armor. And the reason why is because in lore, in lore reasons, the power armor is supposed to take its armor is so durable that it can actually face tank actual tank shells. But no, in the show they're like, well, did you know that? But this small bullet, and if I aim it right here, it will go straight through and kill the person operating it. You want to see? Bam, and it just does it. And to me, I'm like, if you're telling me that this dude that shot one of your soldiers and none of you start shooting immediately at this unknown ghoul, wouldn't there be some sort of firefight that would have started? But hey, I'm just saying. I don't know. I didn't watch the show myself. I could care less about it. I saw some of the things of it. I'm like, I can really care less, man. I don't watch TV shows. I really don't anymore. I'm too busy.
Witcher was technically a book adaptation, so I won't even go down that road. I mean,
Dude, that show was bastardized too so much. It was bastardized so much that Henry Cavill left. The reason why the show was at least watchable, at least the minimum watchable, is because Henry Cavill went out of his way to tell everyone, hey, what is it, that that Gerald wouldn't do this, he wouldn't do that, he'll do this instead. And they hated him so much that they were making false allegations against him, and because of shit like that is the reason why he left the show. And I'm like, all right, cool. And guess what? Now he's part of another franchise that he loves so much, which is Warhammer. So good on him.
are we really to the point where the Minecraft movie is our gold standard for live actions?
Yes, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
All
Minecraft movie is going to be the golden ticket of all the rest of these movies now. Just hire, you know, C-list actors of, you know, like Jack Black and such, and just be part and be the star of these shows or movies. And that's it. That's all they're gonna get now.
comes down to respect. Respect for the source material and respect for the audience. Respecting the source material means working with established lore instead of constantly fighting against it. Understanding that these are characters people have spent hundreds of hours with. When you adapt a game, you're not just borrowing names and faces, you're inheriting relationships that fans have built with these worlds. It can be as simple as getting the costume right, keeping a character's signature weapon, understanding their core personality traits, or, you know, making sure they have hair when they're supposed to have hair. Of course, I'm not saying
I like how this all started with Jade being bald.
You can't make any changes. I know sometimes you have to adapt things for different mediums, but when you do make changes, they should feel like they're coming from a place of understanding. If you can't easily justify those changes to the fan base in a way that makes sense and feels natural, then you're probably missing something important about why people fell in love with the characters in the first place. Respecting the audience also means acknowledging that we're not dumb, okay? Yeah. We know these worlds. We understand the lore. We can tell when you've done your homework and when you haven't. It also means that when fans point out something that looks or feels off, you listen instead of dismissing us all as toxic. Fans get—
You know what's crazy is that you know what game I think specifically did this? I think it was I think it was like the one of the Terminator games. I don't think it was. I'm thinking of Salvation. It's not that one, but it's one of the recent, fairly recent. It probably came out like 2 or 3 years ago. But I remember when that trailer came out, people got pissed. The diehards of Terminators, fans got pissed because they were shooting red lasers, which I remember the video from Angry Joe where he was pissed, because when he saw the lasers were red, he's like, no, it's all wrong. They're supposed to be shooting purple lasers, which they did. I believe they re-uploaded the trailer, I think, and they updated the lasers to be purple. Even like, and that's the thing too, because that distinct color is something that mattered, because that was something that was in anything that took place in the past of when Skynet took over the world. It was always purple lasers. That's what you saw flying everywhere all the time. And that was the main like crux, which you always saw with the lasers all the time in Terminator. But you know, I'm glad that they actually fixed that. You know, they actually listened. They're like, yes, you're right, we messed up, we're sorry, here's a fix for it. Bam, they did it.
Get vocal because we care. We love these characters, we love these worlds. When we point out something that doesn't feel right, it's not because we just want to be difficult. It's because these characters and stories mean something to us. The Sonic team understood that. They listened, they fixed it, and look how that turned out. One can only dream that others will start to do the same. So Bald Jade led us down quite the rabbit hole. And here's what that
For real,
listening
facts.
head clearly reminds us. When studios approach adaptations with respect and genuine love for the source material, they succeed. When they approach them with this contempt or this "we know better" attitude, they don't.
My
We're not
God, dude.
asking for perfection here, you know? We're just asking for respect. The
Yep,
blueprint is already
that's
there.
true.
You have the source material, and all these characters and worlds are beloved for a reason. Don't take those reasons away from us, please. But seeing the success of things like Arcane and Edge Runners and the failure of things like, well, you know, I think some studios are finally figuring out that working with and for fans instead of against them actually makes them more money. A wild concept, right? So,
I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, what is it? The Last of Us show was being worked with directly with Neil Cuckman. So I don't know about that, man. But at least the Fallout show was with Todd Howard. You know, at least there was that, and also I believe the Cyberpunk Edge Runners as well. So it's good, and I think the same thing with the League of Legends. But yeah, but that's really it, man. Like I don't know, man. You may hope for some of this stuff. I don't know, man. I just hope Henry Cavill really delivers on Warhammer. I really hope, that he does well. I hope so. If um I want to see the world that he builds. Oh my God, I got Amber Alert. Amber Alert. Hello. Oh my God. Okay, but anyway, but yeah. All right, let's continue this last moments of it.
let me ask you, which video game adaptation has hurt you the most? Which one gave you hope? Are you feeling optimistic about these latest announcements? Because even with everything we've talked about today, I'm still holding out hope. Our beloved characters deserve better. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.
Oh, you do. What is it? So you do have a little. What is it? You have a faith a little bit. I guess so. I guess so. I guess I have faith for for one thing, and that's Henry Cavill's Warhammer. So I guess we'll see with that. I mean, I will probably see something of it in about like a year from now, maybe some sort of announcement that probably come out like in 2027 most likely. But we'll see, right? We'll see what would happen in the future. But all right then. Well, there's my girl, background NPC. Check her out as usual. She's great. Her content's amazing. I've been to, I subscribe to her, so guys, I think her content's great. Oh man, I feel vindicated about what I really felt about the Last of Us show. I don't know what it was. I just felt like that show was gonna be bastardized so much, and it was. God, it feels good to be right. No, not really. Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes it sucks being right. Sometimes it has its blessings and its curses. Anyway,